Welcome to the Engage Your Learner course, where I'm going to help you raise a passionate world changer. So tell me if this sounds like you. I'm failing my child. What if I screw them up? Is my child educationally where he should be? I feel like I'm missing something important. I spend so much time planning fun lessons, but all they want to do is play with toys and video games. Why can't they just focus for a short time on the important things? Does that sound like you? Always feeling like the bad guy and jeopardizing your relationship with your child? This is what I call the struggling homeschool mom. She's frustrated, overwhelmed, and about to give up. She doesn't want to send her kids to public school, but she's running out of ideas. She feels like she's going to fail her children because they won't focus to learn what's really important. Her days are filled with arguing and frustration. Even though she doesn't like it, she's beginning to bribe her kids or give them consequences because they won't do their schoolwork. She goes to bed every night feeling defeated and worrying that she's failing her children. But that doesn't have to be you. After this workshop, my hope is that you'll apply some of the things we'll be talking about, because then you'll be saying things like this: I'm so excited for today. We have a lot of fun activities planned and we're all excited to get started. I never thought my kids would love learning so much. It's become part of our lifestyle. My kids are having so much fun and they don't even realize they're learning. So, who am I and why should you listen to me? Hi there, I'm Amanda. I'm a homeschooling mom and child development specialist. As a former elementary school teacher, I have spent my whole life learning about education and how children develop. Weirdly enough, it's one of my most cherished hobbies. I have an associate's in early childhood education and a bachelor's in elementary education. I've taken a few grad level courses and spent a lot of time researching and learning about child development. I'm passionate about education and developmentally appropriate practices. I'm dedicated to helping parents understand the real developmentally appropriate standards that their children should be meeting at each grade level. I'm a supporter of delayed academics, child led learning, and open ended learning experiences. I strive to help parents feel confident in their educational choices while also making it fun for both the child and the parent. So, why is child led learning important to me? It all started back when I was in my last year of teaching. I used to be a fourth grade teacher. It was my dream job, and I loved everything about being in the classroom. Then my third year of public school teaching hit. This year was a bit different because I was a new mommy. I wasn't entering that year as a new teacher anymore. I didn't have those innocent teacher eyes. I had mommy eyes. As each day passed, it got harder and harder to stand in front of my classroom with those mommy eyes. You see, this class was different than any other class I've had before. And I taught preschool for 9 years before becoming a public school teacher. I had seen it all and conquered it all with success. But this year, I had a fourth grade boy who was the most precious, hardworking student I had ever taught. The problem? He was on a first grade reading level. In order to help him catch up, I was only allowed to modify his assignments to a third grade level. But it wasn't enough. This boy was also pulled out of my classroom every day for 1.5 hours. I only had him for a total of 2 hours, where I had to teach him social studies, reading, writing, grammar, and word study. Being pulled out for special services did not excuse him from learning what we were learning in the classroom. So I really only had 30 minutes to teach him all 5 subjects. During the time he was pulled out, he was getting modified work, but still on a third grade level. This pullout was supposed to help catch him up, but it wasn't enough. Every day I left the school building crying, and every day I saw tears in the boy's eyes when he couldn't figure out how to successfully complete his assignments. I cheered him on, held his hand, and sometimes just gave him the answer in hopes that it would click, but it wasn't enough. I knew from all my teacher training and most importantly, common sense, that if I gave him assignments on his level and met him exactly where he was, give him a little taste of success, he would succeed. I knew that if I kept giving him work at the level he was at and gradually helped him grow in his reading abilities, he would succeed. But that doesn't happen in the public school system. My hands were tied. I wasn't allowed to give him work on a first grade level because that wouldn't prepare him for the test. And they were more concerned about preparing him for the test than preparing him for real life. My mommy eyes were sad, and I dreaded the thought of my daughter sitting in my very own classroom. Not because of me or my teaching abilities, not because of the other students, but because of the system. A system that didn't allow me to meet a student where he so desperately needed me to meet him. That year I left my dream job. And as I walked out those doors, I vowed to always meet the children I work with where they are. There's no such thing as behind or ahead. Grade level standards are arbitrary assessments that are failing 65% of students, and it's time to do something about that. I believe that all children are capable, motivated learners. And here's an example. I have 8 cousins. All of them are farmers, and they all started failing school in kindergarten. A few of them are in high school now and have never caught up. They are still falling behind and not meeting the grade level standards. They struggle to read the books that are assigned, mostly because they are not interested in those types of books. But they can successfully read any text about farming and animal biology. They struggle with doing math assignments. But if you ask them to measure out the feed for their animals or make a monthly budget to provide for their animals, they can do it quickly and without error. Why is that? Why can they successfully apply skills to farming, but not in school? It's simple. Because farming is meaningful to them. It's their livelihood, and they know that to survive in this world, they must be able to care for their animals. They are intrinsically motivated by farming. School takes them away from farming, from the thing they love and are motivated by. School pulls those math and reading skills out of real life, which makes it harder for children to concentrate and be motivated to complete the assignment. That is why school is failing 65% of students. If you look at these nation report card screenshots for the US, only an average of 35% of students are testing at proficient levels or above in math, reading, and writing. That's more than half testing below proficient levels in both 4th grade and 8th grade. Children learn best when motivated and have a reason to learn essential skills. And that's why you're here today, to learn how to engage your child in learning so that you can raise a passionate world changer. I have worked with thousands of homeschool families like you who are at that sweet spot of, I really want this to work, and is this ever going to work? Maybe you have created strict schedules or looping schedules. You've brought every curriculum imaginable without success. You've tried rewards and consequences to get your child to just do their work. And you felt like you were doing all the things. And you're really trying and with the best of intentions. But it all starts with one simple shift. You have to ditch educational standards. Look at the research on natural learning and trust your child's unique learning timeline. You can focus on your child's passions while still checking off the most essential skills your child will need to be successful in life. I'm not going to promise you overnight success. Heck, your child may actually balk a bit, especially if giving them more control over their learning is a huge change for them. But trust the process. A successful education is all about creating a lifelong learning habit, not replicating school at home. As you can probably tell, my vibe is more hang out on the couch cuddling with a good book or taking a hike through the beautiful autumn forest versus sitting down at the table to get your schoolwork done as quickly as possible. And I know what you're really after is an educational experience that you and your children actually enjoy, that gives you flexibility and freedom to actually live your life. So if you're ready to wake up each day excited for the day's lessons, enjoy being with each other, learning together, and building a stronger relationship with your children, have the confidence to teach your child without having to use rewards, consequences, or drill and kill the passion out of them. Or if you're ready to rest easy, knowing that your child will grow up to be an empowered world changer, then let's get started. Let's talk about the wonders of curiosity way of learning. We educate children to do what sets their soul on fire, so they become passionate world changers. We do this by nurturing their love of learning without sacrificing the important skills that are needed for success. We focus on four things: core skills, passions, mental health, and life skills. Our focus is on teaching healthy habits rather than the content within each subject, because when the habits are established, there's nothing that cannot be learned when motivation is present. Core skills include reading, math, and writing. We teach these to give children tools for learning what truly matters to them. Passions include science, social studies, art, music, and anything else your child may be interested in. We teach these to inspire children to explore new topics and find their true calling. Mental health includes emotional intelligence and character development. We teach these to promote a confident mindset that empowers them to follow their intuition. Life skills include financial literacy, executive functioning skills, logic, and cooking. We teach these to give children the tools they need to build a successful life. I know it's easier said than done, but you're not worried about passing a test or getting good grades. You're not even worried about your child being on grade level. It doesn't matter when your child learns something. What truly matters is if they learn it, understand it, and can apply it to the things that truly matter to their unique life. When you think about teaching, keep these things in mind. Project-based learning. Each lesson starts with a motivation activity such as a living book, a nonfiction book, or an educational video. Once your child is motivated, you can introduce a hands-on project-based activity to keep the learning engaging. Equality. The underlying understanding that things like race, ethnicity, and social status don't determine success. All people are capable of accomplishing whatever their soul desires. Empathy. Having the ability to understand, relate, and respond positively to others. Exploration gives them the tools to discover what sets their soul on fire, research different perspectives, and understand how the world works. And questioning gives them the confidence to test the norm, find alternative solutions, and build a deeper understanding. Now, let's talk about how you can bring all this together and begin applying it to your homeschool so that your child begins to engage in their learning. The first thing you must do is ignore societal pressures and ditch government standards. We already saw that they are not working. They are not accurate. If they are failing an average of 65% of students, that's more than half. That's evidence enough that they are not developmentally appropriate. Each child has their own unique learning timeline that will unfold naturally if we allow it and provide an encouraging environment. If you respect your child's timeline, you can confidently educate your child in a way that boosts self-esteem, builds confidence, and prepares them to live the life of their dreams. Learning should be an immersive experience, not something we just cover and check off the list. So your first action step is to change your mindset. And if you're struggling with this, pull out your journal and answer the following questions. When I see other kids more advanced than my child, how does that make me feel? And why do I feel that way? When I see my child more advanced than other children, how does that make me feel? What has happened in my life that makes it hard for me to trust my child's unique learning timeline? Was I behind as a child? Did I fail at something as an adult because of my education? What is the worst case scenario if I ditch standards and follow my child's lead? What is the best case scenario if I ditch standards and follow my child's lead? What did I enjoy about my educational experience? What did I dislike about my educational experience? Sometimes just getting our thoughts and fears out on paper is all you need to help you get past them and change your mindset. So, how do you influence your child's unique learning timeline so that you can be sure they are motivated to learn important skills? The environment in which a child grows up has a huge influence on when and what they are motivated to learn about. Growing up in a family that values reading will most likely produce a child that likes reading. Therefore, they would most likely be an early reader. But growing up in a family that values outside time will produce a child who is most likely influenced by nature. Now, keep in mind that this is not always the case. Sometimes children find something that they are really passionate about and will spend much of their time exploring that passion, which could affect when they learn other important skills, such as reading. However, you control the environment. You can use their passions to help motivate them to learn important skills. For example, say your child is passionate about dinosaurs. They spend the majority of their time playing with and exploring dinosaurs. You can use dinosaurs to motivate them to read by playing reading games with dinosaurs, by buying them dinosaur books, and encouraging them to read it on their own. There will come a point in time where your child will be motivated to learn important skills to help them learn deeper about their passions. Most core skills in reading, writing, and math are needed to learn more deeply about their passions. Once they hit a plateau where they want to learn more about that passion, but the lack of skill keeps them from learning about that passion, will motivate them to learn the skill so that they can apply it to learning about the passion. For example, once a child discovers that reading about dinosaurs helps him learn more about them, he will be motivated to learn to read so he can learn more about dinosaurs, especially when he realizes that you will not always be available to do the reading for them. Yes, this takes patience on your part, and your child's timeline for learning skills will never line up to yours. But this is where that trust comes in. However, you don't have to wait until they are ready and ask to learn a specific skill. You can introduce skills before they ask to learn about it. The key is watching their attitude and motivation. If they are fighting you the majority of the time with learning a skill, it means they are not ready. Put it aside and try again in a few months. So here is a very general timeline on what your focus should be during each phase of childhood. In early childhood, from birth to 8, you should be focusing on exploring the world and developing an understanding of how the world works. Your main focus should be on emotional intelligence, character development, and exploring what the world has to offer. In middle childhood, from about 8 to 12 years old, you should be focusing on those core skills, basic reading, writing, and math skills. And I do want to add here that there have been many research studies conducted that proves learning to read at a later age is more beneficial. Children that learn to read at an early age will do better on the third grade assessment. However, children that learn to read at a later age, around 8 to 10 years old, will far surpass those early readers in both comprehension and fluency by the 8th grade assessment. In upper childhood, the teenage years, you want to use core skills to learn and explore their passions and life skills. This is the time where children explore different passions to find their calling. Once they find their calling, give them the freedom to explore and learn about it, because this may very well be what guides them to their life's purpose and career. So, what's your job in all of this? You are a learning guide. When it comes to teaching your child, you have two choices. Choice number 1, be the teacher. Or choice number 2, be a learning guide. What's the difference? A teacher knows it all and teaches the child what they know through lectures and presentations. A learning guide may know it all, but pretends not to and shows curiosity about the topic. Through modeling curiosity, a learning guide provides resources, asks questions, and guides the child to figure out the answers on their own and in their own time. Children are great imitators. A learning guide models good learning habits, such as curiosity, questioning, experimenting, and researching. They do this intentionally with topics they want their child to learn, but they also do this unintentionally to learn about the topics they want, because these learning habits are a natural part of their lifestyle. How do a teacher and a learning guide affect learning? A teacher is best for auditory learners, and that's about it. However, no matter what a child's preferred learning style is, they all benefit from hands-on, child-led experiences. A learning guide helps them create and navigate those experiences, which leads to higher engagement and deeper learning. Not only that, having a learning guide mentality helps you become more confident and relaxed in your teaching abilities. A mom with a teacher mentality is usually overwhelmed and stressed. They're usually wondering if they're doing enough. Most homeschool moms who choose to have a teacher mentality are constantly on the search for a new curriculum or the next best trick to keep their child engaged. A learning guide is calm and confident because they know that establishing good learning habits at an early age will benefit their child for the rest of their life. We talked about modeling and teaching these learning habits: curiosity, questioning, experimenting, and researching. But one of the most important habits you can teach your child is resilience. And you do this through positive reinforcement of their efforts, not their accomplishments. For example, if your child completes a reading assignment with 85% accuracy, you're not going to praise them for getting good answers. So you're not going to say, "Great work, you got almost all of them correct." Instead, you would praise their efforts, especially when they overcome a challenge. So you might say, "You worked really hard on that. I saw you struggling with number 3, but you persevered and eventually found the answer. Great effort." Or if they didn't succeed in finding the answer, you could say, "You worked really hard on that. I saw you struggling with number 3. You persevered and tried your best. Let's look at it together and think about some different ways we can solve this problem." Be sure to offer your support during challenges, but allow your child to lead you through their thoughts and problem solving. Praise their efforts and ask questions to help guide their thinking. In today's workshop, we talked about how children learn and different ways you can help support them on their unique learning journey in a way that will boost motivation and engagement. Now let's talk about a few ways you can troubleshoot the bad days. I created a list of what I call back pocket magical moments. These are simple little things that you can do when your child is refusing to do their schoolwork. It helps bring the frustration down and deepen the connection with your child. But it also allows you to give some of the control over to your child when a certain task is challenging for them. One quick note before we get into magical moments: use them sparingly. If you find that you need to resort to back pocket magical moments every day, then this is a sign that your child is not ready for that skill. If you find yourself using them frequently, take a step back. It's okay to take a break and wait for your child to be ready. Remember, you are mommy first. Your connection and relationship with your child should always come before learning skills. Use these when your child is struggling with focusing on an assignment. Give them a mint or a piece of hard candy. Light a scented candle. Invite them to move to another spot of their choosing. Go outside to work. Take a brain break. Give them a fancy writing utensil like gel pens. Use a whiteboard to write your answers. Turn on gentle music or nature sounds. Cuddle under a blanket. Drop it for the day and do something fun. Or simply just ask, "What would help you concentrate right now?" You'd be surprised at how something so simple can make a huge difference in focus and engagement. If you made it this far, I invite you to join Wonders of Curiosity Premium. It's the first all-inclusive membership that helps homeschool moms put learning back into real life and teach their children learning habits that will last a lifetime. It's time to go from a discouraged to an inspired homeschool mama. This membership program comes in two phases. Phase one is our core signature course, The Learning Lifestyle. This is a step-by-step course introducing a new learning habit or skill that you can easily implement into your homeschooling journey 1 week at a time. Once you complete the course, then phase two will open up, and that's where you're going to find all of our resources and curriculum to help you implement the learning lifestyle easier. So let's talk about the course. Module 1 is all about de-school yourself. In lesson 1, you're going to discover how your past educational experiences affect your teaching so that you can work through your self-doubt and replace it with confidence. In lesson 2, you're going to create a vision and specific goals with your child using my Goal Setting for Kids planner so that you both stay motivated and on track. In lesson 3, you're going to discover your child's unique learning timeline, their passions, and what motivates them to learn so that you can prepare lessons ahead of time and be ready when motivation hits. And to help you implement these 3 lessons, you're going to get 3 easy to consume masterclasses, the De-School Yourself journal prompts, Goal Setting for Kids planner, and Get to Know My Child as a Student planner. In module 2, you're going to learn how children learn. In lesson 1, you're going to discover the 8 learning habits that you should be nurturing in your child so that they become lifelong learners. In lesson 2, you're going to understand how to use curriculum the right way because most homeschoolers and educators are using it wrong, without spending hours of research or a ton of money on curriculum that doesn't work. In lesson 3, you're going to discover how children learn in all the core subjects, including reading, writing, math, science, and social studies, so that you understand what is developmentally appropriate and your child will not become one of the 65% of students who are failing. And to help you with this module, you're going to get 3 easy to consume masterclasses, our homeschooling skills checklist, and the secular homeschooling curriculum guidebook. Moving on to module 3, it's all about creating that learning lifestyle and putting it all together. In lesson 1, you're going to design an inspiring homeschool space without needing a lot of room so that you can inspire and motivate your child to learn. In lesson 2, you're going to create a relaxed routine around your child's natural daily rhythm so that you can take advantage of their natural focus times to motivate and engage them in learning. Plus, you'll learn how to create mini routines so that you get all the housework, appointments, and even self-care done every single day. In lesson 3, you're going to learn how to troubleshoot when problems arise, such as burnout, learning gaps, and a struggling learner, so that you can protect your child's mental health and love of learning. To help you implement module 3, you're going to get 3 easy to consume masterclasses and our homeschool starter kit. Once that's all done, phase 2 will open up, and this is the curriculum and resources to help you continue with your learning lifestyle. You're going to get the Where's My Child grade level assessments so that you can be confident that your child is academically where they should be with developmentally appropriate guidelines. You're going to get the Resilient Kid, which is our mental health curriculum that teaches character development and social emotional skills that your child has an unwavering confidence, independence, and high self-esteem. You're going to get Powered by Life Skills, which is our quick and easy life skills curriculum guide. Inside, you'll find activity ideas, affordable programs, and a checklist of life skills your child needs to know before heading into the real world. You're going to get ideas on teaching financial literacy, cooking, gardening, and so much more. And last but not least, you're going to get access to the Curiosity Lab, which is our mini membership, where every month you'll receive a new unit guide to help make planning social studies, science, and your child's passions quick and easy. Inside each guide, you'll receive a book list, hands-on activities, and printables to help you create an immersive learning experience. But that's not all. You're also going to get 15% off of our merchandise. We have t-shirts, mugs, and tumblers coming out soon. You're going to get 50% off a homeschool consultation with me so that you can address any unique concerns that may not be within the scope of our program, such as learning disabilities, homeschool laws, and record keeping. And last, you're going to get access to our members only Facebook group so that you can ask questions, find inspiration, and collaborate with like minded homeschool moms. You're going to get all of that inside Wonders of Curiosity Premium for only $19 a month or $189 a year. But if you take action now, your prices will be locked in as long as you stay a member. So, don't wait. It's time to go from a discouraged to an inspired homeschool mama.